Okay, we're at Ubisoft Massive here in Malmö, Sweden, and we're finding out more about the multiplayer of Far Cry 3 that's being produced here. And I think for casual fans, they may think that Far Cry 2 was made by Ubisoft Montreal. How did it come to be that Massive are working on the multiplayer here?
Well, 2 years ago, Ubisoft came to us and said, with World in Conflict, you did a really good multiplayer, and we like your online thinking. Could you go to Montreal, meet the Far Cry 3 guys, and see if you can help out? So we went to Montreal, we met the guys, we saw the plans for single player, and we started to get a couple of cool ideas and what we could do and we could bring to the game. So after that meeting, we both decided that this would be awesome.
So how's the technology? Is it all Ubisoft Montreal technology, or have you been working on something on your own, or how is that?
No, everything we work on is totally shared, so I don't know the difference when playing a map if this prop was made in Montreal or at Massive. So we're totally transparent there and everything.
And it's the exact same game. It's not like there's a separate... Because in some games, it almost feels like you're playing a separate game when you go into the multiplayer.
No, it's very important to us that when you enter the Far Cry universe, what to say, and play single player and then move on to multiplayer, that it feels and looks and smells like the same game. And so we share everything with the assets and the guns and the explosions and everything. Then of course you need to fine-tune and tweak and do game mode specific stuff that is sometimes different between single player and multiplayer, but it is the same game.
Has there been any instances where you have sort of disagreed on something or something that you wanted to add, but they've said, nah, this isn't really Far Cry, or the other way around, where you felt like, well, maybe we don't want to do this in multiplayer or something like that?
Yeah, of course, there have been hundreds of large and small discussions, but they're all towards a good result, that both teams really love the game and both teams really want to make their game the best. So we're not afraid on, okay, this works really good in single player, doesn't work that good in multiplayer, that we just do it and make the games the best they can be.
So working for 2 years on a multiplayer component, what is the big chunk of what are you doing day to day? What's the sort of the major? Because I think there's a misinterpretation about multiplayer, is that you just put together a few maps, that's not hard work, and then you're done. It's something that's quick done. You can download 4 maps. It costs a lot of money, but it's not a lot of work for the developers, right?
It is quite a lot of work, and we've been spending quite some time on it. So, I mean, the first thing we did was to fix all the network issues and to get the game up and running, and that still takes some time. And then we just do the actual shooting experience. We run around on empty maps and just shot at each other. When we have that fun, you can start build the game. And what's tricky when building a multiplayer game is it's kind of easy to implement the feature for the first round, but then to make it that really polished, snappy, and not disturbing, and smooth in multiplayer, it takes a lot of playtesting. So we play shitloads, we make a list, this worked, this didn't work, and so on. We go back and fix it, wait a couple of weeks, play again, and see how and work the curve upwards.
So there's a lot of playing games here. At what point do you sort of bring in people from the outside to try the game? So, because you can get sort of bogged down when you're working on a game. You don't always see it from the sort of the player perspective. Do you bring in people early on as well to try it?
Yes, we do quite early on. We start doing tests that are so heavily NDA'd that they basically get a thick Bible with them from here when leaving. And we also, it's very important, we don't only do it here in Malmö on Swedish audience. We go to other places as well to test the game and see how it works on other crowds.
And what's it been like to work on this project with Ubisoft Montreal this close? I know you worked on Assassin's Creed, but that was sort of perhaps more of a separate thing. This is more of a cooperation that goes back and forth and for a longer time. What's that experience been like?
I think it's been a very, very fun experience, and for us as a team to realize that what we did very, very good in the RTS genre very well transversed into the FPS genre, and we found ourselves very accustomed quite early. That was a really fun experience, and the best thing about doing multiplayer is that you get to play a shitload, and we have a lot of internal play sessions. And the best turning point we had in the project was when the first time someone threw a controller, because then we know the game was fun and we knew we had it, so we could just build on from there.
I don't know if I always throw controllers because it's fun, but I'll trust you on that one. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
You'll see for yourself. Scout's honor. I suggest that you come back for a taste later. You won't regret it.